Hey Dan, glad to hear you're doing well. It's nice to see you uploading a video again, and good to know that you're taking care of your mental health because I think that's something that people really need to learn to prioritize. And I think if more people did prioritize it, the world would be a lot better place. So this video is just going to be like a stream of conscience. I'm not going to edit anything. Just kind of address the things that you brought up in your video. So really, my day-to-day life. Hasn't changed too much. I'm pretty lucky. I am working from home right now. My temp job basically moved the entire office. So I have like my work computer and I hook it up to my TV and I have like a little workstation in my studio apartment in Washington, D.C. So it gets a little crazy. Like I get a little cabin fever because like I'm just sitting in front of a computer all day long. But I am like talking to friends and family, video chatting with a lot of people. But it's just really weird because I live in this tiny little studio apartment, and my ex-girlfriend moved out like a few days ago, and so I'm not used to being by myself. I'm used to having someone like to talk to, so it can get a little lonely at times. And I'm more of one of those extroverted people. Like the way I cope with a lot of things is I go outside and I do stuff, and I can't really do that right now, which is unfortunate. Um, but you mentioned like what does the scene look like where I live? Like in DC, ironically, it's not as bad as a lot of other parts of the country yet. Knock on wood. Um, I went to the grocery store last week, and the only things they were out of were toilet paper, paper towels, and of all things, frozen vegetables. So I'm not eating super healthily right now, but I am getting by. I have food. Um, but I don't really want to go home. I want to avoid travel. I'm originally from Florida. I do not want to fly. I do not want to drive because I don't have a car, so I'd have to rent one. Um, but like just from all the news stories in my family that I've talked to that live there, like the grocery stores are pandemonium down there. Like there's no food. People are panicking. The population is a lot older, so they're at higher risk. So I really don't want to go down there. I know my mom is taking care of my grandparents. And my little sister was with her boyfriend, and they can help each other out. So I'm not too worried about my family. Um, I do like coming back to your mental health point. Like I go to a therapist every week. I've been going to one since I was in high school. I think it's like I said, something that people need to prioritize more. Um, but yeah, so I don't think I'm going to go in a person for my next appointment. I'm going to try and send an email on Monday and like set up a virtual appointment, or maybe just like talk with her over email or phone or something. Um, but yeah, I think mental health, this like virus has really made mental health like on the forefront for a lot of people, because when you peel back from all of the day-to-day distractions of work, of going on vacation, of doing all these things, and you're in self-isolation, you have a lot more time with your own thoughts. And for a really long time, like I don't go to church anymore. I am not religious, but I do meditate. I try to meditate a lot. I journaled weekly last year. I didn't, unfortunately, this year, because once I graduated, it was like a mad dash to like apply for jobs. And I am still in the midst. Like I have a temp job that runs through the end of April that I'm really thankful for, because a lot of people are getting laid off. But I have a federal job. I hope. Like I got a soft offer, and I'm still going through all the paperwork and the background checks, but I haven't gotten a start date. So, like, I just act like I don't have a full-time job as of right now. But getting back to like what that has to do with like mental health is like it makes people think about like the important things, and I think people are realizing that like they might not be prioritizing the right things. I hope that after this virus is passed, we kind of have a long hard look at like what society prioritizes. We move people towards teleworking that can telework, because if you have, let's just say your company employs 10,000 people, and that means that you need, I don't know, 100,000 square feet of space for all of your employees. Well, if 40% of them can work from home, that means you can downsize your workspace size by hopefully like 30 or 35% because you still might need them to come in for meetings every now and again or something. But when those buildings are converted then to apartment homes, that helps bring down the cost of living, because that means there's more supply on the market. So I think people are really just doing their best, but I think it's just something that is going to come to the forefront, and I hope that people are doing things to like mitigate like anxiety or depression when this is going on. Coming back to that though, I know for me, like with the family history of like at least, especially on my mom's side, anxiety, I've had to do really like just keep my mom at arm's length because she's constantly texting me, which makes me more anxious because she's asking like if I'm doing X, Y, or Z, and I'm like, I'm an adult, like I know how to handle myself. I went to graduate school, and it's just hard. There's a really good video on YouTube by the YouTuber Theremin Trees. That's THERMIN Trees, TREES, and it was about infantilization. He's like a counselor in the UK, and infantilization can take many forms, but one of the forms is basically parents don't treat their adult children like adults. And my mom doesn't do that all the time, but it's just during certain times, especially around stress, she reverts to her motherly form. And I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that's just like they're always going to be your mother. Well, not really. Like they need to respect boundaries, and they need to like trust that their adult kids are going to know how to take care of themselves. And I think that's a symptom of like the media and like saying like, oh, like most millennials still rely on their parents for money and all this other stuff. But like, I think we want to be independent. It's just like our parents generally have been like helicopter parents. So that's hard to do. Yeah. In terms of media consumption, like I go on YouTube a lot. It's probably the main place where I watch videos for multiple reasons. But I'm really glad that you reached out. I'm glad that you're doing well. Hopefully I can hear from you soon. And after all this blows over, if you're ever in DC, we can grab a beer or something. I don't know if I'm going to be in Pittsburgh anytime soon, but I'll let you know. Anyway, stay safe with the coronavirus. Hope things are going well with you. And hope to hear back from you soon.